Yo, Snoobs here. Snoob Reviews, that is. The massive toothache. But we're early. Early as it's ever gonna be, probably. Like, it was pretty damn close. Chapter came out like 40 minutes ago. I was editing another video this morning. It's gonna get uploaded tonight. But I already read the chapter. I'm gonna read through it again. But, pretty good one. I feel a lot of stuff being set up with specifically a samurai that was introduced before. I don't know him right off name, but we're gonna see it. But there was a lot of development with where it seemed, I think Sanji's storyline is gonna go in this arc. I think he's gonna head off against this samurai. It feels like they're pacing it that way. Maybe still trying to rebuild that year of Sanji lifestyle. But and a little bit of Robin's storyline arc, it seems, for the next act. They talk about Luffy a little, but yeah, let's just get into it. So the chapter's called Chapter 927, the courtesan's Kamuro. And so a courtesan's like a type of pleasure woman or prostitute, for a standard example. But it was commonly used in like early Edo period. I mean, there was prostitutes throughout all of it, but early Edo period is the kind of trail they're going for right now. The translators were explaining. But so for the cover page, we got Garp. Good old Garp. Love Garp. He's definitely one of my favorite characters. And he's in a river with a bear, and him and the bear are fighting over some salmon popping in and out of the river. Pretty dope though. Love Garp. Not a Skywalker. I don't know why that pen name's used often, but that was the person who offered it up. Oh, and a little side note underneath. It says for the courtesan's Kamuro, it says a young girl who attends to high-ranking courtesans. So it's about courtesan's a prostitute, but the Kamuro is like someone who tends to this high-class prostitute essentially, and we meet that character early on. So chapter opens again with the beautiful spread of Wano country. Oda's really enjoying showing off. Maybe he's just wasting a panel, but showing off Wano, and specifically the Flower Kingdom, like showing off that castle. This time a little closer. We don't see as much village, but we hear someone yelling, for specialty soba. It's Sangoro's soba, and Sangoro is Sanji, and we see Robin, Granosuke, and Usopp. I forget what Usopp's nickname is. Damn it. This is pretty weird. But anyways, it's Usopp, Franky, and Robin sitting and having some of the soba while Sanji's cooking in the background, loving hearts going in the air. And so Robin's asking if anything's been heard about Luffy. And Franky just, says he's on another island. It's kind of hard to get information, but he'll be out by the time the fight's breaking out. And Usopp's just enjoying the hell out of the soba. He's like so stoked that Sanji's back and never thought he was gonna have his cooking again. You gotta remember, Usopp's been around since the days when they never had a cook. I mean, Usopp's village is just before they pick up Sanji, but yeah, he's having either Luffy's cooking or Nami's cooking, and she was charging arm and a leg. Yeah, he's stoked that Sanji's back. Toad's still with him, and he's having a little piece of soba too. I love that. And Sanji just turns and smiles. He's got this big toothy grin. He's just like, I don't care what any of you think, but what does O-Robi-chan think? He's like, does it taste good? And he's just stoked to see Robin again, and he's loving the geisha outfit. And she's like, oh, it's amazing. And he's just like, what's amazing, Robin, is you as a geisha. He's like, that's what's really amazing. Really laying it on thick. And then you just kind of see the town like bustling around Sanji's ramen shop. Definitely a huge hit, and they're kind of giving him a little flack about it because it's just ladies who seem to be coming. He's really hitting it off with the women. They like the soba that much. Who would have thought? Women getting all over Sanji noodles. But anyways, they're saying that he should spice it up a little, and try and get some of the alcoholics, the samurais, to come in. So like that way we can recruit more people for their forces. And he just, kind of grimaces at Franky. He's just like, why would I do that? And Franky's like, the hell, man? He's like, are you not even like looking for samurai? He's like, come on, man, we're trying to gather some allies here. And Usopp sees some male customers coming up. So in the distance, in the crowd, we see 3 figures walking up. And, people are like, hey, excuse me, we're standing in line. They're breaking through the line up to Sanji's hut. And they're just telling, everyone to shut their trap, get out of the way. Everyone's kind of disbumbled by this. I don't think disbumbled's a word, but I'm making it a word, K. So everyone's all in a disbumble. And we get a dude who's got some glasses, kind of looks like Wapple with a cool set of glasses on. And he's like, hey, bro, nice shop you got here. Sanji's like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. He's like, if you want some soba, get to the back of the line like anyone else. And they're like, nah, you misunderstood. This other dude who, I don't even know where he looked like he's from, but kind of he's just classic Oda character. He's like, seems like the front man samurai, but he's kind of like, you don't have permission to sell stuff on this island. You have to, bring us a part of this. We're part of the Kyoshiro family, which Kyoshiro was that samurai we saw earlier. I mean, that he's a part of the family, but he was under Orochi as one of his head samurai. And so apparently they're like a Yakuza clan kind of that works and functions with Orochi. And he's like, this is our island. And he's like, you'll have to pay us so you can operate your shop here. And who we get is Kaku, Kuni, and Sugi. Kaku has a crazy haircut. I think that's who it is, far left to right at least. He's got just his like weird roll-ups on the side and then the top knot on top. It's weird. And then we got dude who looks like he almost is a fish man. And that's who I'm going to call Kuni. He's the middle guy, and he is like a checkered, it could just be plaid, but checkered kimono on. And he's rocking a sword. And then, yeah, the dude who looks like Wappo on, roids and Big Macs. His name will be Suki, I guess. And he's wearing a flower robe, no shirt underneath, a bit hairy of a man. And anyways, they're telling Sanji he has to pay for his shop being here. And Sanji's just like, why? They're like, so we can protect it. If anything bad happens, he's like, we'll be able to protect you. Sanji's like, well, I'm a strong young fellow. I think I got this by myself. And Robin noticed, she actually says it, but I don't know if she says it loud enough for anyone else to hear besides Franky and Usopp, but like a few days ago, I was sent to sit in this man Kirishiro's room, and they must be his subordinates or something. She's like, he's very arrogant, and I heard that he's the leader of the Yakuza group. And she remembers him calling Lord Orochi a coward. And so, yeah, Kirishiro is pretty confident within his power in Wano. But anyway, since Sanji doesn't want these guys as protection, they start beating up his shop. They knock over some of the soba. And Lord knows you don't knock over a lord. Sanji ain't a lord. Well, oh goddamn, Sanji is a lord. Now thinking, you don't knock over another man, a Sangoro man's soba, and let alone that be Sanji. I mean, man, it's the one thing you don't do to Sanji. It's gonna piss him off, and they straight up talk about it. But yeah, wasting food. One of the few things that'll get him really out of his mind. And one of the guys smacks soba out of this little girl's hand. And this is the little girl we're going to get into in a minute. Her name is Toko, or O-Toko. But she was eating some soba and he smacks it out. And she starts crying, but she's smiling at the same time. This pisses Sanji off. Yeah, he's just got a smoke. He's like, just, yells, everyone leave right now. He's like, the shop's closed for the day. And Usopp's like, oh shit, this is getting bad. He's like, that's the one thing Sanji just won't stand. Frankie's like, ooh, a fight. He starts glowing. Sparkles are coming around him. Frankie's getting in his element. Sanji says, you're gonna have to eat that, sir. And that guy's like, what are you asking for a beating? Everyone's running away because they know these Kirishiro guys are known for going like crazy. And one of the guys, what's his name? I just read it. Let's go back. Kuni, tells Kaku and Suki, the other two guys, that they need to do it. Right as they, get ready to go on their rampage and destroy shop, Sanji just drops this roundhouse on the side of this dude's face, just catches him, and you just see like stop panel. He's just all the pressure. This dude's already up unconscious. He just sends him to the ground, just sends him through the concrete, or probably a dirt road. I don't know. Looks pretty compacted. We get a dope panel of Sanji. I like the kind of messy shading and coloring that Oda did. The line works looks really cool, and it just buries this dude, and he's standing on top of him now. And some of the townspeople turn around, and they're like, man, what's with the shop owner? And they're like, yeah, Mr. Shop Owner. One of the ladies yells. And Frankie's just, coming down from the sky. You see him in this upside down position. He's like, let's do this. Pronosuke Iron! And he just slams, suplexes this dude upside down through the concrete. That guy's like, hell no, dude, this is dangerous. Just bam, through the dirt. And it's called Frenosuke's Iron Suplex. A little Wano twist on it. These dudes are starting to look haggard. He's like, man, one of the villagers is like, that carpenter, he's also, and they're like, man, this is getting pretty bad. And there's just Sanji holding the soba, and he's just stuffing it in this guy's mouth. He's like, eat it all, He's like, eat all that soba you knocked over on purpose. The guy's just like, oh. And one of the guys who ran off, I guess it's not Kuni. God, I'm already forgetting. Now I can't remember the other one. Kaku. I guess Kaku ran off. He's gonna go get more men. And you see Usopp just still stuffing his face with the soba. He's just loving it. He's like, well, it's to be expected, This is just asking for trouble, Is this situation really okay? And Robin's like, well, I guess we did defend ourselves. But Usopp points out, he's like, there was a huge line here, and everyone's gone. He's like, those guys are going to bring backup, stronger guys. The other two dudes are just laying passed out on the floor. Sanji's, I think he's tossing some coin. I don't know if he looted the dudes or what. But, the little girl comes back, and they're like, hey, it's that kid whose soba got spilled earlier. She was laughing and crying, and she's a weird child, And it is weird. She's like full toothy grin, like Sanji's like, there's one more bowl of soba left. He's like, that it wasn't destroyed, and he's like, I'll give you a bowl. And she's like, oh, this specialty soba. She's like, I've heard so much about it. I've walked by, and she's like, I've honestly saved as much money as I can just to get this soba. And she starts eating it, and she's crying a little again, and she's like, it's so good. And the child from the capital, Toko. And she's like, I've never had soba this good. And she starts laughing. Sanji can't help but laugh. And they're like, what's your name? And so she says it's Toko. But she's like, go ahead, try adding the O in front. And they're like, O-Toko. O-Toko-chan. And she's not a boy, though. And so they all assume, because she kind of looks like a boy when you first see her. But she's like, but I am O-Toko-chan. And I guess it's a play on words. O-Toko means male or man. But since the O is honorific in classic Japanese history, in like not just the Edo period, but they used o-robi or o-tama, so it'd be O-Toko. And she always lands that joke right off the bat when she meets people, and they're all busting up laughing. I think it's so funny. This child's really funny, I guess. And I like where they're going with this character. I feel like she's gonna have a really, really sad story. like really sad, but she's so cheerful and pushes through that it really resonates with some of the crew. And yeah, they're having a really good time with her right now. She's like, I'm funny, right? And she's like, it's easy to remember, so I tell people that all the time. She always lands the same joke. She's like, well, this is a delicious meal, thanks. And Sanji's like, yeah, come again. And she's like, oh, I really will, but I'm super late. She's like, they'll be passing through right now. She's like, since today is the courtesan. Fuck, I can't even pronounce it. Courtesans. And since today is the courtesans proceeding, and Sanji's like, oh, what? And Robin goes, Toko, you aren't Kamuro, are you? And yeah, as I said, Kamuro is like essentially the help for the like upper class prostitutes. She handles some of their possessions and helps them get what they need to go about their business. She's like, yep, that's right, I'm a Kamuro. She's like, I gotta go, bye. Which is all super normal. Essentially, she's getting raised to be and they call it what did they call it here? An Orion? I think it is Oiran, Orion. But essentially they get trained by this high class prostitute to become one themselves over time by the courtesan. And so she's essentially already working here, and this is very normal to her. I mean, obviously she's grown up here, so it's normal to everyone there, but this is probably would be really weird as the crew, but they're, like, all right, we'll see ya. And Usopp's, like, she was way funny, and Robin's, like, thinks she was so cute. And Sanji instantly, to Pervy's like, courtesans are coming through. He's like, oh. Thinking of all the ideas, all the ladies he can meet and hook up with. And Franky's like, courtesan, Kamuro, he's not really sure what to make of it. Then the old lady with the fan, Banjo, comes. And they're making fun of how she looks like a paper lantern, essentially. And yeah, she's a rougher looking lady. In one of my earlier videos, you get to see a picture of her when I was using panels. And she's like, who are you calling a wrinkled old lantern, Granny? She's like, shall I dazzle you to death, you shitty brats? A little vindictive. And they're kind of like, Master, whoa. And it's Robin's master. She's like, Master. And she turns, she's like, oh, Robbie, I've got good news for you. She's like, it's spreading around all over the capital. It's like the courtesan are top idols here in the Wano country. They're superstars. And she's the only one who has been chosen so far. Her name is Kamuro Asaki. And she's the dream of all men. Her womanly charisma, along with her beauty, can sway men with even the most sophisticated in countries. And so she's essentially Boa Hancock, Wano version. What we're gonna get from this. And yeah, they make one thing clarified too, is geishas like Robin aren't prostitutes. They're essentially just entertainers or eye candy essentially. But they dance and pretty much just entertain. But courtesans are the full package. But they're very idolized in this early stage of Edo. And they really praise and celebrate it. And so this woman's highly regarded. And the older lady that goes on to say, she's like, she's more dignified than any goddess. She's the perfection that women strive to be. She's the courtesan Komurasaki. And Franky and Usopp are like, there's no way that such a woman exists. And they're like, well, don't believe me. She's like, she's gonna walk through any minute. She's like, listen, you can hear the cheers of the crowds and people surrounding her, the light clicks of her sandals. Today is the Shogun's banquet. It's at Orochi's castle. So she's going to meet with Orochi. And so they're kind of realizing what's going on. They're like, oh, so the courtesan's on their way. And they're like, that little girl from earlier was the Kamuro, and there are they are essentially girls that serve the courtesans, as I was saying earlier. She's like, oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot to tell you, Robbie. Oh, Robbie, She's like, oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot to tell you, oh, Robbie. She's like, congratulations, you've also been summoned to Orochi's sitting room. So Robin's landed the gig where she needs to go. And what I was going to say about Sanji earlier, let's get to this while I remember it. But Robin landed the gig, so she's been trying to get into Orochi's chambers or sitting room or some way to meet with him. She's finally going to do that. She's landed that gig as a geisha. So that's going to lead off on a good line. Especially with her already knowing the Kirishiro family. Now, the Kirishiro family, I think the samurai from that family that Robin sat in the room before with, was eavesdropping. I think he's going to be who Sanji fights. Especially since Sanji just beat the piss out of their regular henchmen. I don't know. I know that Samurai's gonna be decently strong. I don't know if he'll be commander strong, but I can see Sanji fighting him at some point. I think that's where he's going in at too, is with the Kirishiro family, especially since they've already got bad blood now. But anyways, back to it. We've got all the women, all the men freaking out. They see the courtesan coming, Lady Kamuro-Saki! They're like, this way, the courtesan! And one of the guys is just blown away by the light. He's like, she's so dazzling that I can't even look at her. And we only get to see her in silhouette, and on the side view, we see her dress is very, very nice and luxurious. It's sparkling. It's covered in lots of traditional Japanese fabric and art. And they're like, the Dayu, Komurasaki. So a Dayu or a Taiyu, depending on pronunciation, is the highest rank for a courtesan. And so they're like, she's passing through, And the Komura, who is O-Toko, she shows up and she's apologizing for being late. And the courtesan Komurasaki just kind of laughs, and she's like, hey, now, I was worried about you, Toko. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, miss, and she's just smiling. And we get over like a radio or transponder or some kind of announcement. It's like, it's an emergency. We'll need about 20 stretchers due to Lady Komurasaki passing through. Like, multiple people have fallen over unconscious, and after losing so much blood or being blinded, they're like, understood. So they send out a crew to go pick up the leftovers. So then over in Sakyao of the flower capital, you see the Kirishiro samurai leader. I forget the rest of his name. I'll have to look it up. Hold on. Let's look it up right now. Alright, well, I guess the best we got is Dozing Kurosaki. So Dozing essentially the head samurai that I was talking about earlier, that kind of works under Orochi directly. He was the one calling him a coward. Anyways, those other guys who attacked Sanji's soba shop work under him, a part of the family, which is like a Yakuza clan. And so they're returning to Dozing, and they're like trying to explain this, and he's like, a shop owner beat you up? And he's like, yeah, but it's only because he was super strong. He's like, no, I'm going to be busy with Orochi's banquet and all. He's like, so how about you just send some assassins, and that'll create, quite the commotion. And like, it doesn't matter. It says Master Orochi, and then someone's telling Master Orochi the courtesans are coming. And he's like, I see, Komurasaki. Today's the day that I make you mine. So he's been trying to court Komurasaki for a while. He wants her all to himself. And what we notice about him is that Orochi, in all likely, from what we see, because they're silhouettes through a sheeted door, but is like an 8-headed dragon. Now, I gotta look up what the history is on it, because I remember reading about this. Yeah, it's Yamamata no Orochi, which is like this 8-headed mythological 8-tailed dragon. And Japanese lore that like Susanoo, one of their big lore characters, heroes, fights. And each head like holds its own power. And it's gonna be this insane mythical friggin' Zone Devil Fruit. It's gonna be nuts. If that's what's going on here, unless that's just some art on the side of the sheet door, that's Orochi. And it's godly. It's like Kaido meets Momonosuke's Devil Fruit on crack. He's gonna have so much power, it seems like, if that's what it is. I don't know. But it's fitting, it's gotta be, because it's Yamamata no Orochi. It's literally got his name in it, Orochi. Oda. Why you gotta go on break? Ever. Like, ever. This was a good chapter. It wasn't the best in the last, 4 weeks, I would say. There's been some crazier chapters, but there's a lot of building here, and I like that. Really setting tones for Wano and where I think characters are gonna go. Yeah, that was my chapter review, chapter 927. Let's get that title again. O-Toko the Kamuro. So they changed how they put it, at least in their search bar, but yeah. I'm gonna upload this and upload the other video, and call it a night. Be back probably Sunday. Thinking, I don't know, I might do a review tomorrow if I have time, but or an overview, but just depends. I need a stream. I want to beat Undertale, but later.